Okay, so in this video, we're going to talk about the breaking news of President Maduro captured in Venezuela, extradited to the United States, and what is that impact going to have on crude oil, especially for market open this Sunday. And of course, leading into the rest of the week, we are going to talk about it on this video. Okay, so if you're new to this channel, my name is Armando, aka the Professor, and I've been trading crude oil and natural gas for over 9 years. Now, I am currently on vacation, so we are with the family enjoying our first week of January out of my home in Miami. We will be back soon. So for now, we are obviously wanted to give you some value and some analysis while traveling. So this is major news for crude oil in the sense of what it could realistically do for the crude oil prices heading into this first full week of trading in January. Let me show you why. Okay. If we take a look at Venezuela, they are the largest oil reserve country in the world. They hold most of the oil reserves from any other country, and that is huge. Okay. So President Trump has already said that they will have a direct hand-to-hand involvement with what happens now in Venezuela. And we all know that crude oil is a major player in that as well. So as we kind of look at the charts here, I'm going to give you some levels to look for, but I want you to understand that there is probably going to be a significant gap on Sunday with crude oil. And so we don't want to just jump into the gap because that gap could and has the possibility of staying open for quite a while. But this is why I want to give you levels. And again, for those of you that are trading with me in the private trading club, we are going to give you the value and let you know when we are buying or selling crude oil. So let's go ahead and take a look at the chart. Okay, so as we look at these monthly levels, and what I want you to do is I want you to kind of mark this up as I go along. Okay, these are the monthly levels of crude oil. Now, this recent level here of about 67, okay, we have not been able to close above 67 in over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and currently now in our 6 months. Now, when we zoom out here, understand that we do have, okay, a floor all the way back down here at $41 a barrel. Now, keep in mind that I am using, okay, the futures chart for February 2026. So you want to make sure that you are following along on this chart. Also understand that if you are trading crude oil with CFDs or other brokers, pricing might be a little bit different, but understand that the price action should be pretty similar as I get back to the chart. Now, we do have another level that we have to abide by, which is right here. Now, this level here has a double bottom at about 54.68. Now, as we jump into the weekly chart, let's take a look at where we are here on the weekly based on this particular contract for February. Now, if we begin to zoom in here a little bit, you can see that last week, we tried to climb a little bit on crude oil. We took liquidity back from the December 8th weekly candle, but we were unable to close any higher. So we are going to mark this as a weekly level, okay? So you understand the levels as we move through. So by looking at this analysis, you can see that we're kind of been ranging now between 61 and 54 on a weekly level. When we drop down to the daily level, again, we can still see this consistent pattern that we are still, let me grab a marker, we are still trending down, right? We can see that trend here. So understand the impact of this particular news is going to probably cause a significant gap in the market. Now, I'm going to show you a smaller time frame, and I'm going to kind of give you a game plan for what happens if the markets do provide a significant gap. Okay, and for that, I want to drop all the way down to the 8-hour chart. Let me get rid of this here real quick. Okay, so looking at this 8-hour chart, Okay, and as we begin to zoom in, because of the contract change, you're not going to see any data all the way up here. So as we go back to the daily chart, okay, this is what I really want you to focus in on here, because we do have a potential. Okay, we do have a potential if the markets gap down significantly. Okay, so if on Sunday, when that futures markets open, we have the possibility of this first scenario where we gap down to another level. Okay, so if this is the case, we have to use extreme caution. And I'll tell you why. Because as we looked at it from our weekly standpoint, if we gap and we close below 54, right, crude oil has the possibility of making a run all the way down to $41 a barrel. Now, is that going to happen overnight? Absolutely not, right? That can take weeks and weeks. But understand that you have to understand the developments that are happening now across the world. This situation in Venezuela impacts China, impacts Russia from all the illegal oil that they were buying from Venezuela. So what is that going to do for the price of crude oil? Initially, my initial thoughts are it is going to drastically lower the price of crude oil, right? We shall see. Now, let me give you another possible scenario in the opposite direction, okay? If for whatever reason we gap up, okay, I'm going to go ahead and make the candle green, and let me make this candle here red for the gap down, okay? In this scenario here, where price does gap up, then this here becomes, in my opinion, much, much easier, okay? So if we do gap up, let's say we gap up $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, then the play there becomes much easier because we already understand the more recent levels that we can see on this chart. Number one is at that particular point, right, we will find places to short the crude oil market, and we'll do that live inside of the private trading club for the most part. So understanding that if we gap up, that as a trader and investor will make it a much easier scenario because we understand that crude oil prices should and probably will continue somewhat of a decline. Okay. But if we gap down to the first scenario down in here, okay, this is where I want you to use extreme caution because this has the possibility, again, this has the possibility of continuing to spiral downward. And you should never try to catch a falling knife, as they say in the trading business. So if we do gap down, okay, we are going to be very cautious on where we want to eventually either continue selling down to lower, which is going to be staying with the trend, versus trying to buy crude oil at levels that we probably have not seen since COVID. Okay, so it is going to be a tricky situation with crude oil. Okay, so we are going to stay on top of it for those of you that are crude oil traders and investors. And this is where I want to extend the opportunity for you to learn and grow and enrich in a positive and healthy community. If you feel that's for you, definitely join us at the website above. I'm going to leave my promo code up for a few more weeks. You can come in and check it out for the first 30 days for your first month at 50% off using promo code SAVE50. So use caution with crude oil. Do not jump into an early futures market open, okay? And definitely be careful in the markets because this is going to be a little bit tricky over the next week or two with crude oil, okay? I hope you got some value. If you did, hit the like button for me. If you're brand new, don't forget to subscribe, okay? And turn on your notifications bell so you don't miss out on any brand new and developing analysis that I will be doing throughout the course of the week, even while on vacation. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.